I pulled up to the sprawling ranch house on Sagebrush Ridge in the fading light of a December evening, the crunch of gravel under my truck's tires echoing through the crisp Colorado air. The Rocky Mountains loomed in the distance like silent guardians, their snow-capped peaks glowing under the setting sun. I was running late, as usual, clutching a handmade leather wallet I'd tooled myself during long nights in my tiny workshop. It was meant as a peace offering, something to bridge the gap that had always existed in this family. Emma, darlin', there you are. Grandpa Jack enveloped me in one of his trademark bear hugs the moment I stepped through the heavy oak door. His weathered face, lined from years of ranching under the relentless western sun, broke into a wide grin, and the familiar scent of his pipe tobacco clung to his flannel shirt like an old friend. The house was alive with the smells of holiday cooking, roast beef slow-cooked over mesquite, fresh-baked cornbread, and Tracy's, Laura's, famous pecan pie. But the warmth stopped at the surface. The massive dining room, with its antler chandelier and knotty pine walls, felt more like a set piece than a home. Dad, Mark, sat at the head of the table, his fork pausing mid-bite as I entered. Laura, my stepmom, flashed a tight smile while pouring wine, her manicured nails clicking against the glass. My half-sister, Sophie, barely looked up from her phone, her perfectly highlighted hair falling over her face. How's the drive from town? Grandpa Jack asked, pulling out a chair for me. I mumbled something about traffic in Denver, but my eyes caught the tension in the room. It was thicker than the fog rolling off the Front Range. Grandpa Jack wasted no time. So, how's that new place of yours treating you? Everything to your liking? The question hung in the air like a dust devil kicking up sand. Dad's knife scraped against his plate, and Laura's pour faltered, nearly spilling the Cabernet. My place, I echoed, confusion knotting my stomach. Grandpa's brow furrowed, his blue eyes sharpening. The ranch house on Cactus Trail. The one I wired the funds for last month as a graduation gift for you getting that architecture degree. The room went dead silent. Sophie's head snapped up, her confusion mirroring mine. Dad stood abruptly, napkin tumbling to the floor. Pop, let's not get into this now. Emma just got here, and the food's getting cold. But I couldn't let it go. My mind raced back through the years, the cramped trailer I'd called home as a kid while Sophie lounged in her massive bedroom with a bay window overlooking the pastures. Mom had passed giving birth to me, and Laura showed up when I was 5, already expecting Sophie. That's when the divide started. Sophie the golden child. Me the afterthought. No money for college, Dad had said flatly when I got into the program at CU Boulder. I'd busted my ass waiting tables at the local diner, sketching blueprints on grease-stained napkins during graveyard shifts. My one bedroom in the city was barely big enough for my drafting table and a cot. This Christmas invite had felt like a thaw, a chance to finally fit in. How naive. Laura cleared her throat, her voice syrupy sweet. Emma. Tell us about that art class you're teaching. Sounds real creative. Deflection. Pure and simple. But for once, I pushed back. Actually, I'd rather hear what Grandpa means. Grandpa Jack rose slowly, palms flat on the table like he was steadying himself against a bucking bronco. I sent $450,000 for that property on Cactus Trail. Mark said it was for Emma, to set her up right. His voice was steel, cutting through the pretense. Dad forced a chuckle. It's temporary. Pop. We're holding it in trust till she's settled. Complicated family stuff. Then simplify it, Grandpa shot back. My gaze wandered to the gallery wall, framed photos of rodeos, ski trips to Aspen, Sophie's Sweet 16 blowout. I was in maybe 3. All from Grandpa's visits. The truth hit like a flash flood. I'd been a prop. Invited only when Grandpa was around to keep up appearances. "You've been using me," I whispered, the words tasting like bile. Dad didn't deny it. Laura studied her silverware. "That money was for Emma," Grandpa growled. "Not for your fancy truck or Sophie's riding lessons at that elite stable." It all clicked. Dad's schemes. Laura's climb up the social ladder in Denver's elite circles. All on Grandpa's dime from his successful ranching empire. Only Grandpa, with his no-nonsense Western grit, had ever shown me real love. "Pack your bags,
Emma."
you're coming back to the main ranch with me." Grandpa's words landed like a judge's gavel. Dad sputtered, "Don't be dramatic.
Pop.
We're blood." But as I stood, staring at those photos, a perfect trio where there should have been 4, I felt something snap. "I'll grab my coat," I said, voice steady as the Rockies. Upstairs, I paused at Sophie's door. Her room a palace compared to my old trailer. I didn't blame her. She was just a kid caught in the crossfire. Downstairs, Grandpa waited by the door, keys jangling. Dad whispered threats. Laura faked tears. "Ready?" Grandpa asked. I nodded, gripping my leather wallet, the gift no one would open. Outside, the winter wind whipped through the sagebrush, but it felt like freedom. Christmas lights twinkled on the fence posts. Another pretty illusion. "Your mom would have been proud," Grandpa said as we climbed into his old Ford. "She never let anyone push her around." Mom's memory warmed me like a campfire on a cold night. As we drove off Sagebrush Ridge, I didn't glance back. Some fights aren't worth the ammo. But Grandpa's hand on mine? That was a bond worth everything. 3 days later, in Grandpa Jack's cozy den overlooking the vast pastures of his Colorado spread, bank statements fanned out like a bad poker hand. Each one peeled back another layer of deceit. My fingers trembled as I traced the wire transfer, $450,000. Memo line reading, "Emma Hayes Ranch Purchase." Sent from Grandpa's account straight to Dad's. "Look here," Grandpa said, sliding over emails. Dad's casual tone, acting for Emma's best interest. Property deeds showed Laura as owner. Then the power of attorney, my signature forged, sloppy as a drunk scrawl. "That's fraud," Grandpa muttered. Federal level. More docs, my trust fund, meant for college, drained for Sophie's private school in Vail. Family trips to Yellowstone. Laura's boutique shopping sprees. Mom's small inheritance, funneled into renovating their master suite with granite from Utah quarries. A credit card in my name racked up $25,000. My credit score tanked. Loans denied. Tax docs showed gifts in my name I'd never seen, potentially owing the IRS a chunk.
"How?"
I whispered. Grandpa's face hardened. "Mark's been playing fast and loose for years. Laura enabled it. Kept you at arm's length unless I was visiting. Sophie? Innocent, but spoiled rotten. The view of the mountains through the window mocked our pain. What now? Identity theft charges? Fraud investigation. Laura's reputation in Denver's charity circles would shatter. My architecture dreams hung in the balance. But Grandpa pulled out old sketches, my childhood doodles of barns and eco-homes. "You're the builder."
"Emma."
Always were. That night, clarity hit. No more chasing approval from ghosts. I slept sound, ready to rebuild. Morning brought action. Grandpa introduced me to the dean at a top Denver architecture firm, his old buddy from ranching days. "She's got talent," Grandpa boasted. "Lawyer pal. Sarah. Dove into the fraud case." At lunch,
Met Alex."
a fellow intern with kind eyes and no agenda. "Need help with drafts?" he offered. Grandpa mentioned a part-time gig at his land development company. Someone who gets design and the land. By evening, a study group welcomed me, valuing my Western-inspired, sustainable ideas. Filing the police report was gut-wrenching. Identity theft's common, the officer said, but family makes it messy. Sarah froze my credit, built my armor. My phone exploded. Dad's voicemails. After all we've done? Laura's posts about ungrateful kin. Sophie's confused texts. I blocked them all. The silence? Pure relief. Grandpa warned. They'll fight dirty. He was right. Persistent knocking at the office rattled the windows. I know she's here, Dad bellowed. Alex squeezed my shoulder. Grandpa blocked the door. Make an appointment.
Son.
Dad snarled about family, threatened anonymous reviews on Grandpa's business, fake claims of shoddy land deals. My guilt surged. Because of me. Grandpa shrugged. Reputation's built on deeds, not words. 2 days later, Dad ambushed me on campus, arms crossed like a sheriff in a showdown. Your mom'd be ashamed. Students circled protectively. You okay?
Ing.
Melissa asked. Security arrived. Dad backed off. Ain't over. But it was shifting. Grandpa cut Dad's consulting role. Sarah sent cease and desist. Alex documented everything. Fake reviews popped up, but clients rallied behind Grandpa's solid rep. My designs won nods, an internship opened. Hiking with Alex in the foothills cleared my head, inspiring natural elements in my work. The harassment escalated. Laura called my prof about a family crisis. Sophie posted tearful Insta rants. Homeless because of you, she wailed in class. Drawing stares. Prof called security. Evenings. Alex cooked, reminding me, they hate when you thrive. Sarah uncovered more. Dad's shady investor deals. Threats backfired. An audit hit him hard. Laura's social circle frayed. Friends ghosted her frantic posts. Sophie's campus antics got her probation. Restraining orders filed. My work shone at a showcase. Mentors approached. The house on Sagebrush sold. Proceeds to me. Symmetry poetic. Grandpa and I toasted on the porch. Mountains golden. To real foundations. News trickled. Dad and Laura splitting amid ruin. Sophie job hunting. Ranting about toxic parents. I focused forward, but a voicemail from Sophie lingered. I get it now.
Saw the.
Grandpa nodded. Family's a choice. On Monday, Laura's number flashed again. Mark's in the hospital. Heart trouble. Might not make it. Sarah confirmed. Stress? Not fatal. Manipulation classic. Sophie showed at my door. Eyes puffy. Dad might die hating you. I don't hate him, I said. Just see clear. Pastor from their church, Dad's big donor, preached forgiveness at my buzzer. Dad's lawyer pushed settlement. Make it vanish. I declined. Laura threatened Grandpa's will contest. Noise fogged me. I skipped classes, chest tight with stress spells. Grandpa's angina scare hit hard. In his hospital room, I whispered, drop the suit. Not worth your health. He gripped my hand. We finish. Darling. Renewed.
I draftet till dawn.
Quitclaim arrived. House mine. Sarah's leverage fraud evidence. Forced it. Scholarship secured. No contact binding. Dad's ethics probe. Laura's isolation. My design won a green housing contest. Grandpa attended the ceremony. Beaming. House listed. Proceeds for school and my thesis project. Realtor asked about aid for them. No. Firm but fair. Weeks later, Sale closed at $490,000. Sophie's text. Miss you. Can we talk? I pondered. Grandpa. When ready. Build real. Opportunities bloomed. Partnership hints. Seed money. What's family? We'd discover together. 2 years on. Sunlight streamed through my Denver loft windows, illuminating my drafting table where blueprints for a solar-powered community sprawled. The Rockies framed the view, a constant reminder of resilience. 3 months into my role at Rocky Peak Designs, my eco-ranch concepts were turning heads. My phone buzzed. Alex. Dinner still on?
Yep.
Grandpa's bringing that vintage bourbon. I smiled, tweaking a sustainable water system inspired by high-desert aquifers. Praise came easy now, no second-guessing. At dinner, the loft buzzed, Grandpa debating land ethics with my colleagues. Alex in the kitchen. Our rhythm effortless. Family background? Jordan asked. Building it now, I said, gesturing. Some by blood, some by choice. Grandpa's proud glance said it all. House proceeds funded this, Grandpa's guidance sealed it. On the balcony, Emily confessed parental pressure. They wanted law, not this. I listened, shared resources. Love without self-sacrifice. Back inside. Sophie's message. Ready to build real? I considered. Old me would have jumped now. Thoughtful. Mountains taught perspective. My design featured in journals, project groundbreaking soon. Graduation photo hung proud. Grandpa front row. After guests left.
Grandpa.
Alex. And I mold partnership. Sketchbook open. My future home. Rooted in the land. Far cry from before, Grandpa said. Journal entry. Belongings not earned, it's claimed. I understood visibility at last. But the past lingered. A knock echoed, Sophie. Hesitant on my doorstep. Can we talk? Her face, stripped of makeup, showed where, from 2 years of scraping by, retail jobs, community college. No more entitlement. I let her in, brewing coffee. I didn't know, she started, voice cracking. About the money, the lies. They painted you as the problem. Anger flickered, but empathy won. I believe you. But it hurt. We talked hours, her awakening. Parents split, Dad's failed schemes landing him in debt counseling. Laura's move to a small apartment, volunteering at shelters to rebuild. I got a job at a feed store, Sophie said. Learning about horses the hard way, not just riding them. Pride in her voice.
No demands.
Just sharing. Missed having a sister. Tears welled. Me too, I admitted. Not full forgiveness, but a start. Boundaries clear. No more games. She left with a hug, promising coffee soon. Grandpa approved. Healing takes time. Like mending a fence. Alex nodded. You're choosing wisely. That night, I sketched a guest room addition, space for family. Chosen or mended. Months blurred into progress. My project broke ground, affordable homes blending with the landscape, solar panels glinting like desert quartz. At the ceremony, Grandpa spoke. Emma's vision honors the West strong. Sustainable. Applause warmed me. Sophie attended, beaming. Proud of you. Cease. Dad reached out via letter, Sarah vetted it. Regret everything. In therapy, facing demons.
No excuses.
Just accountability. I replied briefly, healing my side. Wish you well. Laura volunteered at a women's center, helping fraud victims. Ironic, but growth. Articles praise my work. Rising architect builds on personal resilience. Interviews touched betrayal lightly. Focusing triumph. Family's what you nurture, I said. One evening, hiking with Alex. Sunset, painting the peaks crimson. He proposed. Build with me? Rings simple. Like our life. Yes. Wedding small. Grandpa walking me. Sophie bridesmaid. Vows under aspens. Through storms. We stand. Life settled into a rhythm. Like the steady flow of the Colorado River. My firm role expanded. Designs won awards for green innovation. Grandpa semi-retired. Consulting on my projects, his ranch, wisdom meshing with my blueprints. Sophie visited often. Our bond strengthening over shared stories. Laughter replacing old silences. She pursued vet tech school. Inspired by stable work. Thanks to you.
I see real value, she said.
Dad's therapy progressed. Occasional neutral emails, shared updates, no pressure. Laura found purpose in advocacy. Speaking on financial abuse. Distance healed wounds. At a family barbecue, our chosen kin, Grandpa raised a toast to roots that run deep, even through rock. Sophie clinked glasses. And second chances. Challenges came, a project delay from permits, echoing old frustrations. But tools from the ordeal, resilience, boundaries saw me through. Alex's support unwavering. You're unbreakable, he whispered. Reflecting on Christmas years ago, betrayal stung less. It forged me. Journal. Pain builds strength. If you let it. Sophie and I planned a sister's trip to Yellowstone, reclaiming lost memories. Professionally, a big contract, designing eco-villages for Western communities. Your story inspires, the client said. Grandpa beamed. Told ya, you're the builder. Evenings on our porch. Alex and I dreamed of kids. A home blending modern and rustic. Family our way, he said. Peace settled. Hard won but true. As the sun dipped behind the mountains, casting long shadows over the valley, I realized the true lesson. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's freeing yourself. Betrayal had cracked me open. But from those fissures, growth emerged. Stronger roots, wider branches. The West taught that. Endure the harsh. Bloom in the thaw. Grandpa's health held steady. His angina managed with hikes and checkups. You gave me purpose, he confided. Sophie graduated. Starting at a clinic. Couldn't without your example. Dad attended remotely. Boundaries respected. Laura sent congrats. My keynote at a conference. Architecture of the Soul. Building after breaking. Standing ovation. Back home, Alex waited with dinner. Proud husband. Life full. Not flawless. One stormy night. A call. Dad hospitalized for real. Heart issues from stress. Sophie relayed. He wants to apologize. In person if okay. I paused. With Sarah present, at the hospital, he looked frail. Emma, I failed you. Greed blinded me.
Tears genuine.
I forgive for me, I said. But trust rebuilds slow. He nodded. Fair. Healing rippled. Sophie mediated light contact. Laura joined a support group we recommended.
No feritare.
But progress. My first child on the way. Designs incorporated nurseries. Legacy, Grandpa said. Hand on my belly. Years unfolded like pages in a well-worn journal. Each chapter richer than the last. Our home, self-designed on a plot Grandpa gifted, stood resilient against mountain winds, solar-powered, with views that inspired daily. Little Jack, named for Grandpa, toddled through the great room, his laughter echoing off reclaimed wood beams. Alex chased him, their bond unbreakable. Sophie, now aunts off, visited with her partner, sharing stories of clinic adventures. "You're the glue," she said.
Grandpa.
In his 80s, still rode the ranch, though slower. "Watching you build this best legacy." His wisdom guided my firm's expansion, projects from California deserts to Wyoming plains, emphasizing community and sustainability. Awards piled up, but fulfillment came from impact, families in safe homes. Echoing my journey. Dad and Laura, remarried after counseling, lived modestly in a Denver suburb. Visits rare but civil, holidays with ground rules. Dad volunteered teaching financial literacy, atonement. Learned late, he admitted. Laura's advocacy helped others escape cycles we knew too well. The lesson crystallized: family isn't blood alone, it's effort, respect,
Choice.
betrayal taught vigilance, redemption,
Grace.
At Jack's first birthday, surrounded by chosen kin, Grandpa toasted to mending what's broken, building what's strong. Eyes met Sophie's. Dad's nods of understanding. Professionally, a book deal, Foundations of Resilience, an architect's memoir. Not sensational, but honest, sharing tools for others facing fraud, exclusion. Royalties funded scholarships for underrepresented designers. Evenings. Rocking Jack. I reflected that Christmas revelation could have destroyed me. Instead, it rebuilt. The West's vastness mirrored inner growth, space for forgiveness, without forgetting. Sophie confided over coffee. "You showed me strength." Dad echoed in a letter. "Proud." Finally, peace profound. As sunsets painted the sky, I sketched future dreams, expanding the family ranch into an eco-retreat. With Alex's hand in mine, Grandpa's stories to Jack, Sophie's visits, life complete. The article hit stands, from betrayal to blueprint, Emma Hayes' rise. But headlines faded, real story in quiet moments. Forgiveness lightened loads, boundaries protected peace. In the end, humanity won, through empathy, accountability,
Growth.